Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Malicious Compliance. Story 1. Use less bleach. Okay. This is an old story. I was a warehouse associate / delivery driver, and was responsible for cleaning the warehouse restrooms 1 day a week. I would use a cleaner with bleach because that's what we were given. Then I'd mop the floors with bleach water. A lady working in the office area always complained about the bleach smell. Trying to be courteous, I diluted the cleaners I was using, but that wasn't good enough. The complaints got worse and worse, the boss was getting irritated with me. I was barely using any cleaner at that point, and I got an idea. Without telling anyone, I rinsed an empty spray bottle a few days in advance, and filled it with pure water only. The mop got a fresh head and the bucket was rinsed. My cleaning day came, and I began to go through my cleaning process with nothing but water. Office lady starts gagging, coughing, and complaining. Boss flies through the warehouse door in a fit and says, "How many times do we have to tell you to use less bleach? This is ridiculous." I agreed with him that it was in fact ridiculous, and told him that I didn't even use any bleach or even any cleaner at all that day. I never got any apologies or anything, and occasionally she'd still gripe about the smell, but she ended up leaving the company a few weeks later. Pretty much everyone was chill at that job, and that's really the only issue I ever had there. TLDR, coworker complained about bleach smell regardless of how little I used. Eventually cleaned with pure water and she still complained. Showed boss and everyone there was literally no cleaner at all, and I stopped getting reprimanded about it, although she still complained after. Story 2. Don't give me directions, I know where I am going. Years ago I used to work in a movie theater that served food. I was a waitress. A little bit of background: the women's bathroom is right next to Theater 13. The sign is right between the doors for the bathroom and the theater. We never have issues because people can tell which is which. Theater 12 and 13 are right next to each other. The sign for Theater 12 is right between the doors for 12 and 13. This sign does confuse people since it is hard to tell which door it is referencing. One night I was working and saw some customers walk up. I greeted them and asked them what theater they were looking for. They stated they were looking for Theater 13. I pointed them to the door for Theater 13. The customers started yelling at me saying I was lying and they know because they have been here before and they know where the theaters are. I said something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had spent so much time here and knew where everything was." Clearly they knew my place of employment better than me. What was I thinking? I went off to the corner where my co-workers and I was doing paperwork and watched as they looked around very confused. They walked into Theater 12 then realized it was the wrong movie. They looked around for a few minutes more confused. They checked Theaters 1 and 2. My co-workers were talking and one of them is way less petty than me and started to feel bad for them. I told him not to help them. I didn't feel bad since he was rude and stated he could find it himself. After 5 minutes of wandering around, the 3 men walked into the women's bathroom. The women started screaming at them. I fell over laughing. My co-worker couldn't take it anymore. He went over and pointed them to the same door I had earlier. This time the men were nice and thanked him. They went inside their theater. About 5 minutes later someone in Theater 13 hit the call light. This light is labeled "Press for Service." I was the server assigned to that theater. I came in and saw it was the same group. They immediately got mad and asked why I was bothering them. I showed them their help light was on. I turned the light off. This is one of the strictest rules we had to follow. Get to lights and turn off light immediately while helping the customer. He got mad and turned it back on. He then told me that the light is what reclines the chair. I told him the chairs don't recline. He continues hitting the light, turning it on and off, trying to recline the chair. He started searching for other buttons when that didn't work. Then he got really dumb and stuck both his hands in between the seat cushions. Those seats were never cleaned and this restaurant was not very clean in general. I've had to search in those cushions for missing credit cards, then are so filthy. I saw the look of instant regret cover his face and he removed his hands, now sticky, and held them up. I could not resist, so I said, well, at least you know where the bathroom is, and I walked out. Yes, I know I was unprofessional. I was treated horribly at that job. They did some very illegal stuff. I was beat down and didn't care anymore. Thankfully I found a new job. The company filed bankruptcy a couple years ago and I was happy to see them close down. Story 3. Well, that's what I asked for. Not 100% sure if this fits because it was done in jest, but still. I frequent a local Chinese hole-in-the-wall restaurant a couple blocks from my work. I have been coming here a couple times a week for about a year now, and know the staff fairly well. I really enjoy my food spicy, and always ask for it to be extra spicy, but today I was feeling like something a bit more extreme. So I asked for my Singapore noodles extremely spicy, and then added in tell the chef to make this for me like he hated me, and wanted me to hurt. Well, they took the like he hated me quite seriously. When my food came out it was repulsive. The meat was burned black and basically just crumbs, the vegetables were practically uncooked, and it was the saltiest thing I think I have ever eaten. Well, I got what I asked for, and tried to eat it, when my server came back, and asked me how I liked it. Well, I think he might actually hate me. Server laughed and brought me my actual meal. Apparently what I had gotten was just scraps that would normally be tossed, and the chef decided to have some fun with it. Got my food to go, my appetite was gone from the few bites I had, and left a good tip. It's been a few hours now, and I still feel a little off. Last time I asked for something like that. Story 4. Casting about for a file. Background info. When making custom widgets we typically need casts, plaster or some such, of the end user's anatomy to make the widgets fit better. The story. A call comes in from a customer. Me, good morning, Widgets International, this is Squid. Customer Karen, hi. This is Karen from Rocky Mountain Widgets. We placed an order for custom widgets with you 2 months ago, but our customer has decided to go with a different manufacturer. Can you send the end user's casts back to us? Me, I'm sorry. Typically we only keep casts for about a week, but... Karen, interrupting, that won't work, can you check to see if you still have them? If she'd let me finish instead of interrupting I would have told her that we can email the electronic scan of the cast to her, but fine, I'm easy. Me, absolutely, may I have the serial numbers of the end user's widgets, please? Karen, Valjean 24601 and Valjean 9430. Me, it's going to take me a moment to check, may I put you on hold? Karen, fine, but please hurry, I'm in a rush. Me, certainly. Hold please. I put the customer on hold and shoot a quick text over to my friend Javert in our custom widgets lab. Me, hey Javert, do we still have the casts for widgets Valjean 24601 and Valjean 9430? Javert is usually pretty busy so he doesn't reply immediately. I go and make a cup of tea. After 5 minutes or so Javert gets back to me. Javert, hi Squid, these casts are from 2 months ago. Me, yup. Javert, sorry Squid, we dispose of casts a week after we scan them. Me, oh, I know, just humoring a customer. Can you send me the files for these? Javert, lol, sure thing. Javert emails me the files and I get back on the phone with the customer. Me, thank you for holding. I'm sorry, we disposed of those casts a week after we scanned them, but... Karen, but... Me, but I can email you those scans if it would be helpful. Karen, oh? Oh. That'd be great. We can send those files to the other manufacturer. Thank you. I take her email address and send her the files. Karen, got 'em, thanks for all your help. Me, you're welcome. Have a good day. Story 5. I was told to put this story here. Years ago I was a CSM at Walmart. No, I don't care if they see this. I was the best supervisor at that location. All the cashiers liked me because they all knew that I was always on their side. Be it the managers, upset customers, or even my sisters, I always had their back. On day one of the backroom managers, who had nothing to do with my department, came up to me and handed me a paper saying that I had to talk to all the people on the list about how they are not allowed to work over their scheduled shift. The cart associate who had worked 2 hours over the day before, I understood that he need to have a talking to, but the other people on the list had only been 1 to 2 minutes over. But she was a manager, so I went to everyone and said the same thing to all of them. That I was on their side and I will do everything in my power to make sure that this sort of thing never happens again. One of my cashiers, an older woman, started to cry when I told her that she worked 2 minutes over her shift the day before. My cashier went home crying because of what a manager who was not over the front end had me tell her. That's when I snapped. My next shift, I made sure to shut down the register 10 minutes before the cashier needed to clock out. Sometimes earlier if the line was long. Normally I have to keep the 2 self-checkouts and register 13, the one with the cigarettes, open at all times. And as you all probably know, the next shift never comes in on time. So in order to comply with not having people work over their shift, I had shut down all the registers, including the self-checkouts, except for 13. If the cashier had to go home, I would have closed that one down too. When the manager over the front end finally came in after a week, found out she was sick, she wanted to know what happened. I explained everything. She told me that the other manager was not allowed to tell us things like that. I never saw that backroom manager up front again. Story 6. You either do or you don't. Okay, cool. I work at Mendy's drive-thru, a popular fast food joint in the US, name changed. One of our hottest sellers, besides our grilled chicken wraps, spicy chicken, and chili, is our potatoes. Well, top them with whatever you want, they're delicious, and they're equally long to prepare. Like 55 minutes long. We try to prepare them ahead of time, but so it takes us 2 cars in a row going on a potato run to wipe us out. That's what happened this time. Whenever we get low we put more on, and sometimes microwave them from half done when needed. Sometimes we're unsure as to the quality of our potatoes, so we check to make sure they haven't been waiting around too long and turn bad. They can get mushy or dark, just gross and unservable. That was also the case tonight. Every time we get a potato order through the drive-thru we ask them to hold while we check to make sure we have good potatoes. So grumpy MC customer swings by through our drive-thru and I greet them, thanks for choosing Mendy's, how can I help you? I get a very crotchety I want a potatoes and a bacon potatoes. Now. I reply, sir, let me check if we have them right now. I turn to my manager Bruce, who is on the prep station because, yet again, somebody called in. Bruce heard the guy and began checking. The potatoes in the bin were bad, and right as I'm about to tell the guy no, Bruce says, oh hold on, and checks the oven. It was clear that we had potatoes at this point based on his thumbs up, and just as I'm about to tell the good news from Mount Potato I hear. Damn it, Azol, you either do or you don't. Tell me right now whether I have potatoes. Enter MC. I replied instantly. You know what, you're right, we either do or we don't, and seeing where I can't confirm or deny at this time I'd have to say that no, we don't have potatoes right now. Sorry. The guy replies, well, thanks for wearing my funking time, Azol. Oh, you're welcome. Seriously, this guy was looking around at all the dirty crooks and the cheats of the world, when he could have been getting down to this. Sick beat. The best part was Bruce holding up 2 potatoes as the guy drove by, flipping us off. It was great seeing his angry brace change to bewilderment all the while. Loved it. On a very unrelated side note, yes, I also teach middle school and college. This is my 3rd gig if you don't count tutoring. Just yesterday I stood my kids for the pledge and legit said, thanks for choosing Mendy's, how can I help you? I guess so long as I don't send my fry guy to detention. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.